Vladimir Putin, the current president of Russia, has become a symbol of strong leadership in the 21st century. Vladimir Putin's governance style is often described as firm, centralized, and highly strategic, reflecting both his personal background and the unique historical context of modern Russia. Since first assuming the presidency in 2000, Putin has steadily consolidated power, transforming the Russian political landscape in ways that have had profound and lasting effects on the country's institutions, society, and its role on the world stage. At the heart of Putin's approach is a belief in strong, centralized authority. He has consistently emphasized the importance of a powerful executive branch, arguing that only a unified and decisive leadership can maintain stability in a country as vast and diverse as Russia. This philosophy is rooted in both Russia's tumultuous history and Putin's own experiences as a former KGB officer, where discipline, loyalty, and control were paramount. Under his leadership, the presidency has become the dominant force in Russian politics, often overshadowing other branches of government. One of the most notable aspects of Putin's governance is his control over key state institutions. Early in his tenure, he moved quickly to bring the country's powerful oligarchs to heel, reasserting state authority over strategic sectors such as energy, media, and defense. By doing so, he not only curtailed the influence of private interests, but also ensured that the levers of economic and political power remained firmly in the hands of the state. This centralization has allowed Putin to direct both domestic and foreign policy with remarkable efficiency, often bypassing traditional checks and balances. Domestically, Putin's style is characterized by a blend of pragmatism and authoritarianism. He has implemented policies aimed at restoring order and reviving the Russian economy, which was in crisis during the 1990s. Through a combination of state intervention, targeted reforms, and the promotion of national pride, he has sought to rebuild public trust in government institutions. However, this has often come at the expense of political pluralism and civil liberties. Opposition parties and independent media have faced increasing restrictions, and dissent is frequently met with legal or administrative pressure. Putin's relationship with regional leaders further illustrates his centralized approach. While Russia is formally a federation, Putin has worked to reduce the autonomy of regional governors, bringing them under tighter federal control. This has been achieved through a variety of mechanisms, including the appointment of loyalists, changes to electoral laws, and the creation of federal districts overseen by presidential envoys. The result is a system where local authorities are closely aligned with the Kremlin, ensuring that national policies are implemented uniformly across the country. On the international stage, Putin's governance style is equally assertive. He has positioned Russia as a major global player, often challenging Western influence and pursuing an independent foreign policy. This has involved both diplomatic engagement and, at times, the use of military force, as seen in conflicts such as those in Georgia, Ukraine, and Syria. Putin's approach is guided by a desire to protect Russia's interests, restore its status as a great power, and counter what he perceives as external threats to national sovereignty. Critics argue that Putin's centralized model has led to a lack of transparency and accountability, fostering an environment where corruption and abuse of power can flourish. Human rights organizations have raised concerns about the suppression of political opposition, restrictions on freedom of expression, and the use of state resources to maintain the ruling elite's grip on power. Supporters, on the other hand, credit Putin with restoring stability, reviving the economy, and reasserting Russia's influence on the world stage after a period of decline. Ultimately, Vladimir Putin's governance style is a complex blend of strength, control, and calculated pragmatism. It reflects his conviction that only a strong, centralized state can safeguard Russia's interests and ensure its continued survival in a challenging and often unpredictable world. Whether viewed as a stabilizing force or a source of authoritarian excess, there is no denying the profound impact that Putin's leadership has had on the trajectory of modern Russia. Vladimir Putin's global image is one of the most carefully constructed and widely recognized in the world today. As the president of Russia, he has spent decades shaping not only his own persona, but also the way his country is perceived on the international stage. Through a combination of military displays, strategic alliances, and high-profile diplomatic engagements, Putin has positioned himself as a central figure in global politics, commanding attention and respect from both allies and adversaries alike. From the moment he assumed power at the turn of the millennium, Putin has been acutely aware of the importance of image in international relations. He has cultivated a reputation as a strongman leader, often seen at the helm of military parades, observing large-scale exercises, and personally engaging with Russian troops. These public displays of military might are not just for domestic consumption. They are carefully broadcast to the world, sending a clear message about Russia's capabilities and Putin's willingness to use them to defend his nation's interests. But Putin's global image is not built on military strength alone. He is also a shrewd diplomat, adept at navigating the complex web of international relations. Over the years, he has forged strategic partnerships with countries across Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and beyond. Whether shaking hands with world leaders at summits, negotiating energy deals, or mediating in regional conflicts, Putin consistently positions himself as an indispensable player on the world stage. His ability to maintain dialogue with both friends and foes has allowed Russia to punch above its weight in global affairs, often acting as a counterbalance to Western influence. Putin's image is further reinforced by his mastery of media and symbolism. Russian state media frequently highlights his achievements, portraying him as a tireless leader who is equally comfortable discussing complex geopolitical issues with foreign presidents as he is engaging in traditional Russian pastimes like judo, fishing, or horseback riding in the Siberian wilderness. These carefully curated images serve to humanize Putin, while also emphasizing his strength, resilience, and connection to Russian culture and history. Internationally, Putin's image is the subject of intense debate and scrutiny. In some parts of the world, he is admired for his assertiveness and ability to stand up to the West, particularly the United States and the European Union. In others, he is viewed with suspicion or outright hostility, accused of undermining democratic institutions, interfering in foreign elections, and using cyber operations to advance Russian interests. Protests against his policies have erupted in cities across Europe and North America, while at the same time, he is welcomed as a guest of honor at state dinners and international forums. Despite the controversies, there is no denying that Putin has made himself a fixture in global politics. His presence is felt in nearly every major international issue, from the conflict in Syria to the ongoing tensions in Ukraine, from energy security in Europe to the shifting alliances in Asia. He has demonstrated a remarkable ability to adapt to changing circumstances, leveraging Russia's military, economic, and cultural assets to maintain relevance and influence. Putin's global image is also shaped by his willingness to challenge the status quo. He has repeatedly defied Western expectations, pursuing policies that prioritize Russian sovereignty and national interests, even at the cost of international condemnation or sanctions. This defiance has earned him both admiration and animosity, but it has also solidified his reputation as a leader who is unafraid to chart his own course. In the end, Vladimir Putin's global image is a complex tapestry woven from threads of power, diplomacy, controversy, and tradition. It is the product of deliberate strategy, relentless media management, and a keen understanding of the forces that shape international perceptions. Whether seen as a defender of Russian greatness or a disruptor of the global order, Putin remains one of the most influential and enigmatic figures of our time. His every move watched closely by the world. Vladimir Putin stands as one of the most consequential and enigmatic leaders of the 21st century. His rise to power from a relatively obscure KGB officer to the President of Russia is a testament to his political acumen, strategic thinking, and relentless pursuit of influence. Over the years, Putin has carefully crafted an image of strength and decisiveness, both at home and abroad. He is often seen as the embodiment of Russian resilience, a leader who has weathered political storms, economic crises, and international scrutiny with a steady hand. Putin's leadership style is characterized by a unique blend of political intelligence, calculated risk-taking, and an unwavering commitment to maintaining control. He has demonstrated an ability to adapt to changing circumstances, often outmaneuvering both domestic rivals and foreign adversaries. His decisions, whether related to domestic policy, foreign affairs, or military strategy, are rarely impulsive. Instead, they are the result of careful deliberation, informed by a deep understanding of Russia's history, culture, and geopolitical realities. On the world stage, Putin's influence is undeniable. His actions are closely watched by governments, analysts, and citizens across the globe. Whether he is engaging in high-stakes diplomacy, overseeing military operations, or addressing the Russian people, his every move is scrutinized for signs of intent and direction. This global attention is not accidental. It is the product of years of deliberate positioning, both in terms of Russia's foreign policy and Putin's personal brand as a leader. Domestically, Putin has consolidated power to an extraordinary degree. Through a combination of legal reforms, political maneuvering, and the cultivation of loyal allies, he has established a system in which his authority is rarely challenged. Critics argue that this concentration of power has come at the expense of democratic institutions and civil liberties, while supporters contend that it has provided much-needed stability in a country with a tumultuous past. Regardless of perspective, it is clear that Putin's leadership has fundamentally reshaped the Russian political landscape. Internationally, Putin's approach is often described as pragmatic, yet assertive. He has sought to reassert Russia's role as a major global player, challenging the dominance of Western powers and forging new alliances in Asia, the Middle East, and beyond. His foreign policy decisions, from the annexation of Crimea to Russia's involvement in Syria, have had far-reaching consequences, altering the balance of power and prompting intense debate among policymakers and scholars. Yet, Putin's influence extends beyond the realm of politics and diplomacy. He has become a symbol, both admired and reviled, of a certain kind of leadership, one that values strength, order, and national pride above all else. For some, he represents a bulwark against chaos and decline. For others, a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked authority. This duality is part of what makes Putin such a compelling and controversial figure. As we reflect on Putin's legacy, it is important to recognize the complexity of his impact. He has navigated Russia through periods of profound change, leveraging his skills and instincts to maintain a grip on power that few modern leaders can match. At the same time, his tenure has raised difficult questions about the nature of leadership, the limits of power, and the future of democracy in Russia and beyond. In conclusion, Vladimir Putin exemplifies the qualities of a modern leader who blends political intelligence, strength, and absolute control. His decisions continue to shape the course of events, not only within Russia, but across the world. As history unfolds, the world will remain attentive to his actions, seeking to understand the motivations and consequences behind the choices of a leader whose influence shows no sign of waning.